If I met for NN1 in real life, it would be on site.
Yo, 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 what it do? It is me, Fist Lord, and today we are reading a creepy-ass story about a creepy-ass little girl bitch. Now, sit back, relax, and let's get right into the pasta. Before I tell you this story, I want to tell you a bit about myself. I'm your average wannabe developer, constantly building in a studio, trying to learn Lua, and constantly fantasizing about my super popular, super successful game and all my fans. I'm also a bit of a myth fanatic. I've never believed in the occult, nor have I believed in any conspiracy theories with a children's MMO, but I loved the idea of all of these creepy stories. John and Jane Doe, Jerry, Melvin, and so on and so forth. Nowadays though, I stay away from that. I don't know whether this was a prank or some serious fishy business, but it's given me my fill of creepiness. Alright, here's what happened. I logged on to Roblox sometime in December to play some games, build some models, and chat with my friends. Seeing that one of my good friends was online, I opened my chat and invited her to a party. She then told me that she had to leave to do some shopping. Per the usual, she was always busy. Shortly after that, I got a notification from a user called 4NN1, Leet speak for Annie, I gathered. It was fairly innocent, with the misspellings and grammar of your average young girl, complete with the one too many smileys. It reads as follows.
Hi.
Username.
Smiley face. I saw your place and I think you are very good at building. Smiley face. I think we should be friends. We can hang out in my place. It will become famous one day if you help me. Smiley face.
Honestly, I would have ignored it under normal circumstances. This girl is probably 10 years old, at most, trying to become popular and have a lot of cool friends. However, I had been invited to this party, despite never seeing this user before. I've set my chat privileges to friends only, and she's not on my friends list. I double-checked all of these multiple times. No, my followers weren't allowed to chat with me. No, users I follow wasn't allowed to chat with me. Even if they could, she wasn't following me. I wasn't following her. Of course, it could easily be a glitch. After all, I do remember sending random party requests to users I don't know, just for kicks. I chatted back at her.
Thanks for the compliments, but who is this? Are you one of Dolores' little friends?
A few seconds passed, and she replied,
I do not know a Delora. Sorry. Frowny face. But please, come to my place. Smiley face.
So it wasn't some playmate of my sister's. I decided to leave it at that and go play some different games. Only a few minutes later, Annie messaged me again.
I said come to my place.
I ignored it, continuing to play games. I didn't need to get involved with some first grader needy for attention. I don't really like kids, and I prefer to play by myself. Youth-hating introvert master race. She continued to message me. I stopped reading them pretty quickly, but she kept messaging me. The constant string of notification beeps grew irritating, so I muted my browser. Eventually I left my game. Annie had stopped messaging me, and so I closed my chat window. Mistake. She picked up her pace right away, and despite closing the chat box, it kept popping up again, a Roblox feature that, time and time again, has frustrated me to no end. In the end, I decided that I'd join her game, even if only to make her shut up. That may have also been a mistake. I joined the game, which was simply titled Annie's Place. The description was a default as well. The place itself was the generic starter place, with everything colored a bright shade of pink with free models of flowers, cats, and dogs. Annie was already in the game, waiting for my arrival. Upon seeing me, she typed several messages, overly excited that I was in her game.
OMG!
Username.
OMG.
Username!
Come! Super smiley face.
That was pretty much all there was. She told me a bit about how much she liked cookies and how much she liked cats. After about 10 minutes, she informed me that her mother had told her it was time for bed. She then said her goodbyes and left the game. I followed suit. Only being the evening for me, I opened up Roblox Studio and worked on various models before eventually turning in early. Annie didn't message me for the rest of the week, allowing me some precious time to forget about her. When she messaged me again, it took me a little while to realize it was her. Annie asked me to come to play with her again. I gladly obliged, knowing that I'd avoid major annoyances. However, her message bothered me. She had been replacing her usual smileys with frownies, and even her avatar's face didn't look too good either. However, other than those two rather jarring things, she kept her upbeat attitude. It wasn't any of my business, so I didn't ask, probably upset over some rude kid at school or something. Annie simply chatted at me while I was in her place. I was multitasking, playing phone games and not really paying attention to Annie. However, I put my phone down once she started asking some rather disturbing questions.
Do you ever want to touch rusty nails? Have you ever eaten a raw dog? Where do you live?
I patiently told her to stop asking these questions as they made me uncomfortable. She didn't. She just kept asking the same questions, telling me that I couldn't leave until I answered them. She just kept asking the same questions, telling me that I couldn't leave until I answered them. At this point, I had had enough and left the game. I blocked Annie and didn't hear from her again. That's what was supposed to happen. Only 2 days later, she sent me several angry and upset messages, with the disturbing questions from before mixed in. She wanted me to come back to her game, because I had cheated by not answering her questions. She tried everything from guilt-tripping me to insulting me, and even to serious claims of how she only had so many days left to live. I continued to ignore it, muting my browser and playing a different game. I joined a game of Death Run to pass the time, but was instead redirected to Annie's place. Instead of in the lovely island lobby of Death Run, I was in the all-too-familiar, ugly pink cabin. Annie wasn't happy to see me, despite getting her way. She asked me why I hated her, why I kept leaving, and why I was so mean. I politely told her to calm down. She did, but continued to stay somber and upset. After that, I really hoped that I never had to see her again, but, of course, I was dragged into playing with this maniac of a girl again. Her avatar's appearance had changed again. There was a streak of red across her face, and the dogs in her yard had disappeared. This time, Annie didn't yell at me or ask any disturbing questions. She chatted with me about the things she liked again, but without her usual pep. After a while, Annie, rather suddenly, said this.
It's hot in here.
She left the game immediately after. Her pink house set ablaze, and the sky grew dark. My morbid curiosity led me into the burning house. Inside was a dark, burning figure with a grotesque smile. I left the game and logged out of Roblox. I felt sick to my stomach. If this was a prank by some exploiter, it was a downright disgusting one. I stayed off of Roblox for a few weeks, and when I came back, I was somewhat relieved to see that she hadn't contacted me. I never saw her. Again. Wow, guys, that was like so totally scary. Like, imagine a scary ghost girl ask you to play the game, but it wasn't a girl, it was purely a ghost, and then it like died in front of you. I would be scared. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.